What was ruined by rich people? Thrift stores. Sometimes, when I see them taking pictures of the labels, I'll take it and walk around the store with it for a while until they leave, then put it back. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Sometimes I will walk by them and pretend I'm on the phone and exclaim I found a high-price item. I love when they glare at me while I keep talking. Pickup trucks. They used to be considerably cheaper and driven only by farmers. I am a driver for a car dealership. I move vehicles between dealers, pick used ones up at auctions, and the like. These trucks are nice, but I just can't figure out how people afford them. Many of them are 70, 80, 90, 100K. Even used Tacomas are 40 to 50K if you're lucky. Just insane to me. I drive a 2000 model Toyota Tundra that just flipped 200K miles. I bought a used premium Lexus GX recently and got so much shit from the guys at work about how I must be paid so well, etc., etc. Every single one of them drives an upgraded extended cab newer truck. I couldn't have bought a new Tacoma for what I got the Lexus for, and it's going to outlast all of them. I love my used Lexus hybrid. I only paid 24K and expect to have it for a long time. I bought a Lexus RX hybrid used a few years ago, put 50K miles on it, and it's had precisely 0 issues. They even gave me a warranty if I serviced it at the dealer. That's how sure they are it's bulletproof. Burning Man. It's the best weekend of the year in the Bay Area though. The assholes are all gone. Great time to drive out to the beach, one of the only times there's no heavy traffic on the freeways. That and Christmas Day. Did you grow up in Marin? I remember Officer Barbier, he was a dick. You're under arrest. He patrolled around my high school and fined or arrested most of us, haha. Edit, I recall whenever someone spotted him, they'd say Barbier, run, and everyone would scatter like roaches. Good times. The housing market. Yep, I was outbid multiple times by the same people just gobbling up land and houses. I even was willing to pay asking price but would be outbid 30 to 50K every time by the same 3 fucking people. They fortunately got their comeuppance during COVID and one went completely bankrupt. I unfortunately had to have someone in my extended family die to get an inside track to their house. Willing to pay asking price? Good lord, we've been offering 20K over and still getting outbid by a lot. 2 years ago my friend put 14 offers on houses, all $50,000 plus over asking, and was outbid every time. He was so disillusioned. Then found a new development where they literally hold a lottery for new homes and he finally got a house. Totally ridiculous. My wife and I went to 41 open houses in 2022 and made 10 offers. Lobster, them cockroaches of the sea. Another one is oxtail, and it's only recently become in demand. It used to be poor people's food, the part of the cow no one wanted to eat. I'm in my 40s and remember as a kid, for big family dinners, there was always a huge pot of oxtail stew full of meat cause it was so dirt cheap. Pile your plate high and get seconds. Then it was discovered how similar it is to osso bucho, but at a stupid cheap price. Supply and demand drove the price way up. Tried to look up historical prices, was able to find that only 5 years ago it was $9 a pound. Now it's around $15 a pound. My big sis says she remembers buying it as a teen, and it was maybe $2 a pound. So, it went from a huge pot of stew, to side meat dish to go with chicken, and you can get maybe 2 pieces of oxtail, to, oh oxtail? You must be rich. LOL, and now it's gone to substituting with turkey necks, which is now dubbed poor people's oxtail. The irony, right? But it's not the same at all, it's pretty terrible actually. From what I've read, chicken wings used to be the same way dirt cheap until the buffalo-style wing took off. The middle class. Most clever remark I found so far. Middle class will be slowly destroyed in the coming years. Dual income households will mean nothing. We will have to get second and third jobs, just to make ends meet. If there's one thing that's guaranteed about history is it repeats itself. Kings and peasants. Generals and soldiers. Etc. Can't wait for the guillotine to come back into popularity. With what's happening in France, I'm surprised it hasn't already. They built several small of them in the middle of Paris, just haven't used them yet. They have names written on that if the people hey are meant for. Artsy neighborhoods and student ghettos. There's an area in my city called the University District. I live with my partner and my brother, we're all university students, and the three of us together can't afford to live in that area. Seattle? Sounds like it, which is crazy cause the U District ain't even that nice lol. Nope, I'm in Canada. Calgary? The challenge of climbing Everest? If it wasn't for the Sherpas, I'd be like, you got this. I watched an interview with a Sherpa a while ago, and they basically said that if you have enough money and can keep putting one foot in front of the other, they will get you to the top of Everest. It's not about having any kind of skill. It's become an expensive, and somewhat deadly, hike. Sherpas short roping people to the top. Even saw one recently carrying a MF down the mountain too. They have unimaginable strength. Plenty of stuff, but concerts and music festivals. I went to concerts, and big ones, with my own money in high school and college. It wasn't cheap, but it was something kids could save up for and people just went. Food and drinks were just basic event fare. Now I'm straight up not sure how people who aren't well off go to concerts. And responses saying aha, Ticketmaster are not as clever as they think. Ticketmaster has existed since long before I was born and always been scummy, but it wasn't like it is now. It's got to be an influencer VIP event and it's lame. And yeah, you can find great concerts for 3 pennies and a button if you want to see Shmo McGee and the Who's It's playing experimental thrash polka on their min in a grimy bar with 4 chairs in it. Yes, I know, I still go to those concerts sometimes. But most people go to concerts to see artists they care about, not to just be at a concert, any concert. There used to be $40 tickets to popular concerts. Yes. And now with dynamic pricing, even the low-end tickets end up being hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Yep. Looked at Taylor Swift concert tonight in Cincinnati. $1,000 for a nosebleed seat. Before fees. What haven't they ruined is a better question. Seriously. Throughout my life the divide has become more apparent. Maybe it's just my perception. But it simply seems every facet of my life has been computer calculated to see exactly how much I'll pay for anything. Bars, games, equipment for my hobbies, DIY or amateur gear, thrifting. Everything. Programmer here, you're right on. Pricing models are statistically driven. People are scared about AI and computers taking over and creating a dystopian nightmare, but in a way, this ship has already sailed years ago. Holy shit, do I feel ya. It seems like every single thing in my life that I enjoy has some community set up around it with the sole purpose to extract money. I really miss the days of the internet when we had communities that just enjoyed a hobby that wasn't flooded with scumbags trying to peddle their wares. Can we just talk about how cool it is that we can print stuff in 3D without some jerk-off trying to sell me the latest and greatest printer or asking me to subscribe to their bullshit social media? Fuck. I miss when the world felt real and people were genuine. Government handouts, it's only classy when they get them apparently. To be fair, deals in general. The richest people I've known have also been some of the stingiest bastards I've met. They'll clip coupons, call customer service to dispute the smallest transaction. I mean, I get it, but the people I've known have been loaded and still gripe about paying full price for anything. They have time to spend on hold waiting to talk with the credit card company, and they seem to have time to find all the deals, coupons, happy hours, or whatever, and yet, none of them need to do that stuff. They could afford to shop for a great item but haggle over $50 on something like a car purchase. It's wild, but they can afford to be picky. They can afford to drive around all day to find the best deals, and they have time to argue over price matching, etc. Rich people love a good deal, especially if it means they got the last one and you can't get it. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of rich people are extremely cheap too. It's a weird thing. I'm starting to think it's a type of mental disorder. Like dragons hoarding treasure just for the sake of having treasure. They want to hoard wealth and keep as much of it as possible because they like seeing those large numbers in their bank accounts grow. Cheap cuts of meat. Like wings, brisket, oxtail, etc. From the less desired cuts to every rich dad's $3,000 smoker. I'd say go vegetarian, but they'd probably ruin that too, just like what happened with quinoa. What happened with quinoa? Similar to what happened with oxtail, it got popular then more expensive when it used to be quite cheap, but I guess the biggest impact the supply/demand has is on poor communities, and I think South America. Admittedly, my understanding on this issue is a little fuzzy other than reading that quinoa is something the rich ruined, who rely on this as one of their main food sources. I read somewhere that the people who live where quinoa comes from can no longer afford to buy it because the popularity has driven up the price. Please like and subscribe for more daily content.